I saw one from Emily Wu Chuang. Can you please come to podium? And since we only have one speaker tonight, you will have 5 minutes.
Good evening, City Council members. I have lived in Arcadia for over 14 years. Before that, I lived in San Marino for 20. I lived in Irvine for 4 years and Chile, Santiago, Chile for 4 months. So yo puedo hablar un poquito de español. 我会也讲国语跟台语. Because I was my mom's caregiver, I can speak multiple languages, Mandarin and Taiwanese. And a little bit of Japanese because my grandparents lived under Japanese occupation in Taiwan. I was born in Arkansas, and moving to the San Gabriel Valley was quite a culture shock, adjusting to a new environment where before I used to be the only Asian kid in a class of black and white students, and then moved to the San Gabriel Valley in 1988. And I was one of too many Asians. It was quite an adjustment for me and culture shock. But here today, I want to talk about different things, and I'll try to be as quick as I can. I am a psychiatric survivor as of July 29, 2023. One thing I say about psychiatric survivors is that they're very similar to that of rape survivors because no consent was required. 5150 is what I call a adult babysitting service by TV with medication management. Hardly anything to do in that experience, and your phone is denied to you without explanation, no patient's rights shared with you in the hospital. And I'm still, to this day, not very sure about what the Arcadia PD codes 7923.600 and 7923.625, what do these codes really mean? And why am I not allowed to see the body cam footage from that night of July 29, 2023? Don't we have the Freedom of Information Act? Another thing I want to ask and bring before you is, when are we going to have our next mental health fair? I know we have an Arcadia Health Fair, but I've been part of the Pasadena Mental Health Advisory Committee, and in years before when I used to be involved with NAMI San Gabriel Valley, the president had created this Pasadena Mental Health Advisory Committee, and he last gave me the reins to continue his work. But because I have so many responsibilities, like being the first Asian board member for the National Coalition for Mental Health Recovery, because I believe representation matters. When we go up to Washington, D.C. to talk about our concerns about forced treatment, I share my own story of being 5150 by 988, the National Suicide Hotline, which then broke confidentiality and had 911 called on me. And then the Arcadia PD and the Arcadia Fire Department came. And none of those individuals were females. None of them had a compassionate ear to listen and even try calling a mental health crisis response team, which is something that LA County Department of Health does provide. I understand that there is some program called SGV Cares, which is supposed to be a program that is facilitated by SGV Council of Governments, which April Velato had shared with me before. But my understanding is there is no funding there. So I would like to know and see a formal presentation from the city of Arcadia to share how the existing mental health crisis response teams that service the city of Arcadia work together with the city of Arcadia's fire department, police department, so there is transparency in how this process happens when a person is experiencing suicidal ideation or just emotional distress. I want to thank the Fire Chief Chen Suen for waiving the $474.74 emergency ambulance fee, which he just notified me over the phone on March 9th that I no longer have to pay. And that it took over 2 years for me to finally realize I don't have to pay it, because when someone is harmed in a involuntary hospitalization against their will and by healthcare workers.
Sorry. Time is up.
If elder abuse is a crime, patient abuse should also be a crime. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
So that was the recording of my talk, public comment at the City of Arcadia City Council meeting this past last week on Tuesday. That was the first ever City Council meeting where I made a public comment, and I had been wanting to do this for quite some time, and because I needed on the public record that this happened to me, and I need the whole city to know. I need the whole public to know, because I have been doing, it was such a traumatizing experience to be 5150'd by 988, and here I am. I have been a national mental health advocate for over 10 years, and so but I wish the city would grow with me, that they would learn with me, that they would gather the experts to be able to host this, mental health fair. So if they need to create a mental health commission, I would totally be part of it. And so because this topic affects more people than you know. People with mental health disabilities, they have traumas that have been passed down to them from generation to generation, and people have no idea how to process all of the emotional pain that they have inside. And if we're not given and provided and told where the resources are, then how are we supposed to get the help that we need? So this is why I have to be the change I want to see in the world. I'm only one person. And anyways, I hope you're all doing well. And I'm just going to leave this recording here live for everyone to see that this event existed. Me doing my public comment for the Arcadia City Hall City Council meetings. And there were actually 3 people that were willing to talk to me. Before the city council meeting happened, Sharon Kwan came up to me. David Fu waved his hand to me to say hello. He also waved back and said, "See you Saturday," because he was my +1 for the Peter Kwong Celebration of Life event, which was pretty much like Peter's birthday party. Because, as Debbie said, the girlfriend of Peter always wanted a birthday party, a big birthday party, but it always fell on the period of when everyone's doing taxes. And so Peter Kwong, thank you for making a difference in our lives. And I was so privileged to be able to sing the song Wheels of a Dream for you. And I sang my heart out. So I'm going to share that recording of, thanks to Mina Chow for recording me singing that song. And I was glad that David Fu was able to show up and that we were able to talk. And the other person that I was able to talk to as well was Dominic Lazzarato that very night, just before he went to his car. And so I really appreciated him talking to me, and also another police officer, John. I have his business card. John Bonomo. He's the captain of the Arcadia Police Department. I have his phone number. I have his email address. And he said that he was going to show me how to figure out how to get access to the body cam footage from that night. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys updated because, you know, if this can happen to me, this can happen to anyone, and I don't want this happening to anyone. So as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna push, and I'm gonna push. I have to. We can't afford to traumatize people. It's just like you tell people to be honest about your feelings, and then people break confidentiality, and then they lock you up, and your constitutional rights are taken away from you in an instant. That's not cool. That is not cool. Help is not help if it didn't help. And not everyone has the privilege to hire a lawyer, because it's very challenging to find a special lawyer who is willing to fight for you in this injustice. And sometimes it takes, you know, psychiatric survivors so many years to heal from this traumatizing experience. But anyways, I continue to do my art, and I hope that you'll join me for the self-defense class on May 9th with the Asian Youth Center. It's going to be held in Barnes Park with the City of Monterey Park. And yeah, so I hope you'll join me. It'll be from like 11 to 1, and my art will be on display. So I'm going to have some prints of my art available for sale, and we'll see how I can get those. But have a lovely Monday, and I will talk to you later. Ta-ta.